Hi everybody, today we're looking at a BOROS Arcane Bombardment deck that uses some of the newest cards from Brothers War, which just released on MTG Arena, and I'm excited to show you some of these here. So we've got 4 Arcane Bombardment, which as you know is the usual for me, but there were a few things in white especially that I knew I wanted to try to cram into an Arcane Bombardment deck. So the first one, right next to the Bombardment up here, is a little weird, but let me explain where I'm going with this. The Combat Thresher, sometimes we just need to draw some extra cards because one of the problems that Arcane Bombardment runs into is sometimes you draw too many lands. That's why I always play a cycling land in there just to kind of help move that process along. But Combat Thresher gives us something else to do when we've got a bunch of mana floating around, gives us another way to finish off a game, and most importantly, it can help block in the early turn since it's a small double striker. Some of the instants and sorceries I was excited about are Brotherhood's End, which is a great 3-mana sweeper in red that also hits artifacts if we need it to. Now, it's still pretty early on, so in a lot of these games, our opponents haven't really adapted yet. So far today, I've faced several people who are still on Grixis with no new cards added. I mean, I get it, it works, but come on, people, let's have some fun. So we've got 3 Brotherhood's End in here, which is so far a fantastic sweeper at this slot. It just ruins the day of aggro decks, which are already pretty strong in Standard. The next card I want to talk about is Kayla's Command. This card fills an important role in this deck in that it helps us to get a little bit of ramp going. The most important modes on here are creating a construct, just as an extra blocker or attacker later on. But in the early game, we often want to search for a basic plains and put it into our hand, and also do a little gain life and scry too. This gets even better when we can tuck it into Bombardment late game and keep repeating this effect over and over as an additional sort of repeatable life gain effect, which is super important sometimes. We've also got 2 Sacred Fire, which we've played with before. It's a great repeatable instant way to activate Bombardment. And then the final, 2 cards I want to talk about. First, Union of the Third Path, another way to gain some life. Between all these pain lands that we've got in here and all the hard-hitting creatures in Standard, I wanted to try this out as kind of a cycling card drawer that could actually gain us a ton of life in the late game. It was okay, wasn't too bad. I want to try this in a couple other configurations and see how it goes. But one card I want to talk about that takes this deck from being an Arcane Bombardment deck to being really more of like a red-white prison deck is Soul Partition over here. Now, this is a 2-mana white instant from Brothers War. It exiles any non-land permanent. The player can replay that card as long as it remains exiled. However, it costs 2 more to do that. But because this is at instant speed, we get to control the tempo of when they're able to do that a little bit better. And so what happened in several of these games is we get a Soul Partition or 2 tucked up under Arcane Bombardment, and we often made our opponent have a bunch of cards kind of stuck in their hands, stuck in exile that they couldn't really do anything about. We hit Tenacious Underdogs with this. We hit one poor opponent who was trying to hit us with a Borrowed Time, and in response to the Enters the Battlefield trigger, we just Soul Partitioned it, and it didn't work. They didn't have enough mana to recast it. So turn after turn, we were able to kind of nullify the effect of that removal for Arcane Bombardment that way. So yeah, in effect, you can kind of stall your opponent out with those Soul Partitions until you find enough burn and creature token generators to end the game. So it was cheap, it was effective, and it was a little bit mean. So perfect for this style of Arcane Bombardment deck. Now let's get over and see some of these games on the ranked standard ladder. I'll stick with you for some commentary on these games, but as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. All right, I think this will do. Get to try out the Combat Thresher here. Plenty of land in all the right colors. Getting these new pain lands has certainly been nice for BOROS, and looking forward to trying out the Underground River Jetmir ones as well. Let's get this land down. Just keep the option open to use our removal on turn 2. All right, little defending of the temple going on. So that means they will have a little mana ramp available. This is a good opportunity to try the prototyped version of this card. Ooh, into an early Hallowed Haunting. That's interesting. All right, Wanderer for us. Let's definitely get land number 4 down. Well, we could use this to exile that Haunting. I'm wondering if that's the best, though. We may want to see if we can get this Wanderer down or possibly Big Score. Alright, so Jugon flips. Another Jugon defends the temple. Opponent definitely on a go-wide type of strategy here. Soul Partition will be good to take care of those tokens, though, since you can't recast that. Well, let's big score. Try to set us up for bombardment here. Soul Partition in the grave is just fine. Oh, I've been wanting to try that one, too. Excellent. All right. Land from us. We got to wait one more turn before getting this bombardment down. We can activate it right away with a partition. Counters have been added. Consider the temple defended. All right. Looks like our Thresher is going to touch the Spirit Realm. Well, I think this is a good opportunity for the Wanderer here. We will exile their flipped Jugon, take a little bit of damage. Definitely going to need something for this ever-widening board. Let's get bombardment down, and we can keep up this partition for their turn.
Remember your training.
This Soul Partition's nice to have in our back pocket. As the opponent's second Jugon flips over here. Oh, that's good. You can draw a ton of cards off of that. All right. Borrowed time, huh? Well, I think we can do a little trick here. So as this trigger goes on the stack to remove bombardment, we can exile the borrowed time itself, and that should nullify the effect of removing bombardment from play. Excuse me. So we'll still keep whatever gets pulled up into it right here. Yep, you see it just passed with no effect. And now it effectively costs 5 for their next turn, but since we have a Soul Partition under bombardment now, we can just repeat the same effect if they try to target it again. As long as we have another instant to play to activate it. Wanderer down, we pick up a land. Well, we've got 2 instants. I think what we need to do is big score now, pitch one of these lands, and we can keep up. Oh, double Soul Partition. Well, let's exile the big token. And I think their mana production. One of these monks here. Marvelous. Burn down the house and Sacred Fire here to help finish the game. Let's see if they try it again. They do. They get a spirit. Jugon triggers, can put a counter on something. Alright, so trigger goes on the stack. We activate bombardment. We remove the borrowed time. We'll exile another token. And big score away this land. Alright, things get exiled. We pick up a Destroy Evil, which is going to be great against a enchantments deck, and this effect should fizzle again. Yes. Excellent. So we've effectively cut off their only way of getting rid of this. And opponent scoops it up. Alright, good game. Back with this BOROS Arcane Bombardment list, we've got our Jetmir's Garden to start us off with. A few lands to help us get up to Brotherhood's end. It's been a while since Standard has had a good 3-mana sweeper, and this one is certainly nice to have around. An Abrade for us here. We'll just get a land down and pass. Well, it's still early. This is release day of the Brothers War on MTG Arena while I'm recording this, and not a lot of artifacts for my Abrades and my Brotherhood's ends, but I expect that to change in the coming days. Let's see what Lily does to us here. Abrade can't hit Lily, unfortunately.
Drop it.
And we've got the Brotherhood's end to hit both of these things. So I think we may end up using both of these Brotherhood's ends. So let's just fire one off now and at least get rid of the sleeper. Opponent blitzes an underdog. Okay. Gonna make us discard again. Hesitant to give up these lands. Let's pitch this burn down the house. If we get bombardment up and running, it'll be nice to be able to pull that up inside. Okay, good. Some more lands. Well, I think we need to get rid of Lily. We need to start holding on to some of our cards. They're definitely in kind of the advantageous position with those two underdogs down there of just being able to hit us for 3 and draw a card every turn while we kind of sit here spinning our wheels. So let's try to get up to bombardment mana and turn this around here before we get too low. Okay, Abrade, we can use that to activate. Still need something for our longer term problem. Alright, so a skeleton and a bankbuster. Opponent opting to build out their board a little bit and start some reliable card draw that doesn't cost them so much life. We pick up a partition. Let's get this down. As long as they don't have an Invoke Despair, we should be able to start firing this up and pulling up some of those good instants and sorceries from our own graveyard. Alright, great. They just opt to underdog here. We'll take a little bit of damage, but I think we're alright for now. Looks like 6 altogether from this. And they still get to sack the underdog. Not a bad combo. Ooh, we pick up a big score. That's going to be great. For now, though, we definitely want to activate bombardment this turn. Yeah, I think Abrade on this bankbuster is what we need to do. And big score will be nice if we pick up a land next turn, but I think keeping partition up makes sense. All right, and Brotherhood's End, that'll take care of the conscript over there. Bankbuster down. Just have to worry about these repeated underdogs coming back to get us. All right, underdog 1. Short on mana for the second one, so they'll attack. Let's big score. You know what? It's good to have this partition in the graveyard, so let's get this out of here. All right, well, it's kind of... Both of these are pretty much the same for now, so let's do that. 3 damage to everything. Big score. Big score over partition there also helps us pick up some other things to do on future turns, where if we just partition there and don't pick up a big score from the graveyard, then we are really dependent on what's on top of the deck. All right, opponent going wide again. Ooh. This card for sure stood out as something I wanted to try with bombardment, so let's give this a try. All right, Kayla, we are going to get a Plains and Scry. That activates bombardment. We will sweep Brotherhood's End. I think that's all we need to do for now. Pick up a land. Wanderer, don't need that, but we will keep this Sacred Fire, and I'll hold on to this land. We can big score that away on our opponent's turn here. Trespasser. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. That hurts. Burn down the house, gone. I don't want to activate Bombardment yet until they play this underdog here. We're still low, even though I think we're in a good spot. Okay, big scoring away this Plains as promised. 2 Brotherhood's ends. Okay. Let's see. Definitely sweeping here. No need for any of that other stuff. Alright, we pick up that Sacred Fire from the top and another Bombardment. Alright, and there's that Thresher too. So we could Bombardment number 2. We could fire. The opponent is getting low, and if they keep doing these underdogs, they'll stay low, but we might just need to just draw a card here, since that's our only instant. Then again, Jaya can help us find that, so let's get this going. Perhaps some monks will help speed this game along.
I'm here. Go on. Impress me.
Cut down. Opponent probably been holding on to that this whole time. Okay, Tenacious Underdog. And they can afford to play both of them now. But I think we've got enough under this Bombardment here where I don't think they are going to touch us ever again. So opponent just taking 4 there to try to draw some cards, essentially. Well, let's burn their face for 2. And we'll use the stuff that's under Bombardment to keep the board cleared. Oh, nice. We pick up this command. Let's make a construct to help finish off the game. Do a little scrying. And then do some targeted removal to hang on to our token and our Jaya. Don't want to hit those with Brotherhood's End at the moment. All right. 2 things that are okay, but don't activate Bombardment. Looking, yep, I was wondering. I was going to say, we could finish them off with that construct, but the other cut down they've probably had in their hand the whole time. All right, let's just do the prototype version of this and draw. All right, yeah, I don't think there was any way for us to win straight out there, so we'll just add a couple of tokens to the board. I think we've got enough to Sacred Fire next turn. And that should be enough to finish them off. Infernal Grasp, that takes them to 2, definitely in Sacred Fire range now. And well played, opponent. All right, well, good game. We are here with another BOROS Arcane Bombardment deck. Close to the release of Brothers War. What is this now? Ah, it's the soldier that draws cards. Or not draws cards. I think you get to take a look at the top of the library, at any rate. All right, the Guardian over there. That's going to be kind of annoying. We'll probably have to save the Wanderer for that. But the great thing about Brotherhood's End, I think we're going to be able to take care of whatever soldiers they play. It's probably going to be hard for them to get them out of range of this card by turn 3. All right, just waiting on them to pass there. Guardian, one of those cards that, since you can activate it at any time, our opponents love to forget about that. All right, so they'll get in for 4. Any follow-up here? Oh, another new one. Excellent. draws cards if we can tap 3 soldiers. Well, I'm sorry, opponent. This card's too good to not play. Alright, so they discard, keep the Guardian alive. Might cycle away this card too, I don't know. Alright, so we're at 11. They found their Lord, but they've only got 2 cards left, and we still have another Brotherhood's End. We might be able to make them discard, or just outright exile it with the Wanderer here. Well, let's wait until they figure out they've still got priority, and we'll pass it over to their turn. Try and pull this Wanderer trick on their turn during combat. Another Soldier Lord. Alright, tries to get in for 5. Wanderer will attempt to exile the Guardian. Excellent. Alright, they could have had to slip out the back or something, but I haven't seen what kind of counters they're running over there. Well, I think this is a good opportunity for Brotherhood's End again. I am sorry. Sorry to the Wanderer. We're probably going to have to hit you with this. Yeah. Don't see another way.
Back to wandering.
We are too low. Alright, some timely reinforcements. We've got Soul Partition if we need it, but I think we're okay for now. Oh, Thalia. Always you. Oh, and a Soldier Lord. Okay. Well, let's see. I don't really want to take 4, but I guess we're going to have to do that. Oh, perfect. Well, we draw a Burn Down the House. Fortunately, it's too expensive because of Thalia. So we're probably going to have to use the Soul Partition now. We could either hit Thalia or the Lord. It's very nearly the same, so... Let's get the Lord out of there. And opponent just plays the more expensive version of the Lord. Finally, we get to burn down the house. Get that Thalia out of here. We can start playing Arcane Bombardment. Alright, a couple of creatures back from our opponent. Thalia back again. But this Brotherhood's End should take care of that. They've got all 3 Soldier Lords in the graveyard, so if they can ever get anything to stick, they can start putting some counters on stuff. But it looks like they finally ran out of gas. So let's get this down. Battlefield Forge. What do you got? More reinforcements. Alright, if they draw a land, they can put counters on it. Okay, well, the other Lord, that's the same thing, so we are down to 3. Well, how about second bombardment? And let's try this little trick. Desperate times and all that. Let's see what we got down there. Oh, plenty of sweepers. So we got 2 shots at this. We're going to cast Destroy Evil on our own bombardment. Excellent. We get a Brotherhood's End. Saves us from this board. Assuming they don't have anything. Yes. other bombardment picks up the same thing. We can just decline. There's nothing left. And we lose one of the bombardments, but we are alive. Okay, well, nothing to activate it with. Let's lay this third one down. What do you got, opponent? Otawara on the bombardment with Brotherhood's End on it. Oh, that's a great draw. That is a good draw. We probably definitely need to scry, but let's see if we can do both of these here. I think we can fit it, yes. Alright, Kayla's command. Make a construct for blocking. Gain 2, scry 2. Brotherhood's End. It'll be nice for later. Soul Partition. Okay, good for later as well. Bombardment number 4. Alright, so we can skip those. Hopefully get into something good off the top here. Timely reinforcements, but we've got a blocker. Even with a 5th land, I don't think that's enough to get us. All right. Good game, opponent. All right. One more game here. We've got Kayla's command. We're working towards Arcane Bombardment. We've got a Jaya this time. We've got our Thresher. Opponent with just a white weenie here. Okay, Gala Greeters. This is definitely going to try to go wide here. Well, we have no 4th land, so let's go looking for one. And we will pick out a plains and do a little scrying. Don't need those quite yet. Would love some more lands or a bombardment. Two sweepers as well. Well, I think we can start making tokens and potentially do the exile effect with Jaya next turn to draw some more cards. And if we keep going up with Jaya, we can Brotherhood's End and not destroy her as well, which could be nice. All right. Well, command gets removed from the graveyard. And just one creature coming in at Jaya. Definitely trade that. Really would like to do a land here. What you got? Oh, bombardment in the land. Alright, well, land it is. Let's Brotherhood's End. We get to keep Jaya around, and we've got an Abrade up for whatever they might play this turn. Elsbeth, though, we cannot hit that.
The answers about my past here. May your peace last.
The one downside to Abrade is it can't hit planeswalkers. Alright, we get a land. That's great. A shielded Broker's Ascendancy, though, is going to be a problem. I think we're going to make a monk and then try to get this Wanderer down. Oh, it's Shauna! Oh, we can definitely Abrade Shauna. Apologies. Forgive me, please. Can't having you get any larger than a 3/3. Alright, well. Elsbeth will get a counter, but we will make a token. Start putting some pressure on our opponent's planeswalker.
Let your blade do the talking.
To get a counter on this Samurai. We're actually getting close to paying full price for this Thresher here. I mean, that's going to be nice. Put some counters on that thing. Just draw into a land. All right, let's go attacking. Yep, if our opponent digs their way out, it's going to be because of her. And we'll just make a monk. Try to build up a board presence. Control that planeswalker, see if they've got any other planeswalkers going on. Good card to have with an Ascendancy on board.
I know there's a hero inside you.
Okay, put some counters on things. We'll put out this forge. Let's see what we can get off the top here. Just some lands, unfortunately. All right. Let's put a counter on one of these monks.
We've got the edge in this fight.
Probably need to send a bunch of this over to Elsbeth here. So the thing about our deck, we're not running Depopulate. We've got Burn Down the House instead. So if creatures start getting above 3 and above 5 toughness, we're going to run into problems. All right, Elsbeth down. Let's just keep adding to the board here. We probably could have done this pre-combat, but what are you going to do? Alright, opponent casts their Spirit from the grave. A couple of counters on things. Let's keep trying to pull something off the top with Jaya. Another Thresher and a big score. I think it's big score for sure. Get rid of this land, try and draw into Bombardment, start reusing some of our nice spells that are just waiting for us down there. Counter, we'll just put on this monk. Thresher is big enough for the moment. Kind of have enough on board that we don't really care. And we'll leave a Devil back to at least conserve some of our planeswalkers. That's a big score here. Just make some monks bigger. Really need to close this game out before they start drawing lands and doing more dangerous things. Alright, so we get in for a bunch, plus a devil takes them down to 5. Alright, opponent's had enough. Good game.